What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. Guys, we're taking a look at some juicy rumors today. A massive trade has been talked about between the Dallas Stars and the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we'll be getting into that in this video. So let's get right into it. So the rumor out there from David Pagnotta, he says the Stars and the Jackets are discussing a massive trade. More specifically, John Klingberg and Seth Jones. So, Seth Jones, 26 years old. He had 28 points in 56 games last season with the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that struggled last season. And as a defenseman, he was putting up a point every other game. Not too bad. He's making $5.4 million this season, and next year he will definitely be getting an upgrade. His contract is due in the summer of 2022. He's an unrestricted free agent. The Columbus Blue Jackets were told by Seth Jones that he is going to test the free agency market. And with the way that the Blue Jackets are right now in their situation in a rebuild, it doesn't really make sense to keep Seth Jones as a rental at this point. You might as well get the value for him that you can, as much value as you can, and find a way to get him out. Now, there is one caveat to this. He has a modified no-trade clause, which means he has a 10-team no-trade list. So that means 21, I guess if you consider Seattle, 22 teams. So 22 teams he can get traded to. But you know for a fact he put teams like Arizona, probably teams that are at the bottom of the league like Detroit, on that list to where he won't go there. Now, he's from Arlington, Texas. I speculated about this before. I talked about how Seth Jones would be a perfect fit for the Dallas Stars. I said it's almost been a month now ago, I made a video talking about predictable places where I think these guys will go, and I put Seth Jones heading to the Dallas Stars, and that looks pretty good right now. And you can expect him to look at a contract anywhere between $6.5 to potentially as much as $8 million AAV. Now, I don't think he's a guy like Thomas Chabot. I don't think he makes more than Thomas Chabot in his next contract, but he's going to get paid. And a lot of people are hyping him up right now. The Norris Trophy guy that everybody's been talking about. But not many people have been talking about the Dallas Stars defenseman that's an unrestricted free agent next year as well. And that's John Klingberg, 28-year-old defenseman. He actually put up better numbers than Seth Jones last year, putting up 36 points in 53 games. So in 3 less games, he put up almost 10 more points. He's making $4.25 million on the cap hit. Again, he will be an unrestricted free agent next summer. And he has no trade clauses, which means he has no say where he goes. He could go to the Columbus Blue Jackets in this deal. Now, there's a couple ways to look at this. It's easier for the Columbus Blue Jackets to flip a guy like John Klingberg elsewhere than Seth Jones, as that may not be the case, but it's easier because of the cap hit. You see, you have to look at John Klingberg making almost $1 million less, more than $1 million less than Seth Jones, which is easier if they want to move him again before the trade deadline. Now, they'd probably look for a signing trade for a guy like John Klingberg. You probably don't just bring him in and say, all right, well, you're a pending unrestricted free agent, because you're in the same situation that you were last time. Now, here's the other thing that they may not be mentioning here, and that is a three-way trade. Do we see another three-way trade here? We've already seen two, pretty much, this offseason. The more notable one, the Ryan Ellis to the Flyers one, alongside guys like Cody Glass, Nolan Patrick, and Philip Myers, all being moved to different destinations. So could we see a three-way trade here for Seth Jones, John Klingberg? Is there another team involved that we're just not hearing about right now? I would not be surprised. And there's certain general managers around the league. I'm not saying this is a guarantee, but the New York Islanders, Lou Lamoriello keeps things very tight to the vest. Is he maybe the other guy in here? Now, I'm not saying that because the Islanders do need forward help. They don't necessarily need help on defense. Now, they did lose Nicoletti, and they could lose more at the expansion draft. But let's be honest, more than likely, this is not the Islanders' route. But I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. Maybe a team like the Minnesota Wild is in that conversation. You know, we just saw all the money that Bill Guerin freed up. Maybe we see a three-way trade there. The cap hits will be similar, so that's why I have a hard time believing that John Klingberg is actually going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is probably a three-way trade. Now, the other thing here, like I mentioned in my other video, Seth Jones is the local boy from Texas, the local cowboy from Arlington, Texas. He'd be going down to his hometown, well, home state, really. He'd be going to his home state playing for the Dallas Stars. Now, this is interesting because I have a sense that the Heiskanen deal has something to do with this. Because you're looking at Miro Heiskanen making $8.45 million AAV. Did that affect how the Dallas Stars maybe view John Klingberg and Seth Jones and thinking maybe this one is more valuable in terms of longevity? And that may be something we're seeing from the Dallas Stars. So I think it's interesting. I don't necessarily know, like as of today, who would you rather have, John Klingberg or Seth Jones? Because I don't see this being a one-for-one trade. And value-wise, it doesn't really make sense for them to just, the two of them to be discussing a trade. I truly believe the reason we know this information and the reason that it's so out there is because they're looking for a third team to throw in a trade here. And I think there could be a suitor here. There are plenty of teams that are looking for mobile defensemen around the league. It probably won't be hard to find a three-way trade. The question is, what value goes back to the Blue Jackets? Because if they're losing Seth Jones, we know the price tag, what they were asking for from the Blackhawks. Alex DeBrincat, Kirby Dach, and another piece. And teams around the league are not going to be able to do that on their own. But if you make a three-way trade with the Dallas Stars, you may just find that value you're looking for. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Am I crazy for thinking there's a three-way trade here? If there's more to this than we realize? Or do you think this is just smoke and mirrors and they're just trying to create more value for Seth Jones? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to be a part of this growing army over the past couple of weeks, guys, I mentioned in my other video, guys, thank you so much for the growth over the past couple of days. It's really meant a lot. This channel has been booming recently, and I wouldn't be able to do that without you guys watching these videos. So thank you so much for that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.